Hey, can we verify that we're getting good voiceover commentary on the live stream?
Absolute beginners came to Georgetown. They were wearing Harris tweed and pork pie hats. They'd slit your throat and throw you in the gutter. But it's all you can expect from men like that. The bus is bound for Niles Bend and Harbor. The ladies wear perfume to scar your nose. And the only way to reach them is to scare them. But of that you know little, I suppose. It's a magical and mystical performance as you perambulate right down the road, with your pockets full of stardust and perfection, and Jesus on your side and in your soul. She had rings on every finger and 10 bracelets, some touch with powers given by a sage. He had contemplated giving her his wristwatch. The time for him had long since gone its way. Of the city he would shuffle, while spinning on his heels and chewing beef. He had promised her he'd be a vegetarian, but he could not control his lust for meat. Some say she left the streets for greater glory, but others said that she was big with child. Whatever was the truth, it did not matter. He would hunt her down and cut her with his smile. Last time he was seen was by the pawn shop. He traded 2 gold teeth for a sack of corn, and he would plant it on the outskirts of the city as a warning that he would someday return. Said he never found her and he's still looking. It is said he searches rivers for some sign, but the truth is that he caught her down in Georgetown with a Spaniard who had left his wife behind. Absolute beginners came to Georgetown. They were wearing Harris tweed and pork pie hats. They'd slit your throat and throw you in the gutter. But it's all you can expect from men like that. The bus is bound for Niles Bend and Harbor. The ladies wear perfume to scar your nose, and the only way to reach them is to scare them. But of that you know little, I suppose. It's a magical and mystical performance as you perambulate right down the road, with your pockets full of stardust and perfection, and Jesus on your side and in your soul. She He had rings on every finger and 10 bracelets, some touch with powers given by a sage. He had contemplated giving her his wristwatch. The time for him had long since gone its way. Of the city he would shuffle, while spinning on his heels and chewing beef. He had promised her he'd be a vegetarian, but he could not control his lust for meat. Some say she left the streets for greater glory, but others said that she was big with child. Whatever was the truth, it did not matter. He would hunt her down and cut her with his smile. Last time he was seen was by the pawn shop. He traded 2 gold teeth for a sack of corn, and he would plant it on the outskirts of the city as a warning that he would someday return. He said he never found her and he's still looking. It is said he searches rivers for some sign, but the truth is that he caught her down in Georgetown with a Spaniard who had left his wife behind.
Alright. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Gasically Statements from GameWorks.com, the E2KG Network podcasting channel on YouTube, the Rounding Off Infinity gaming channel on YouTube, and the For Love of Game page on Facebook. Here with an afternoon live stream as I continue my reputation as the mayor of single player. We're about to get started crushing on a little Red Faction Geurrilla ReMARStered from THQ Nordic and Volition Studios, a remaster of the 2009 release for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, brought into the modern age by the reassembled publisher after THQ went bankrupt shortly after the release of this game, actually. So let's get things started. We got a little warm-up done yesterday. Is Wrecking Crew? I don't know if Wrecking Crew is co-op or what. So there's yesterday's save file. We've completed 2 missions. We've yet to liberate a section. It's going to be a long road getting this done. As is the case with Far Cry, there's a little bit of time in these open world games just trying to figure out exactly how to, what's your progression map? How do you want to go about knocking things out? That is definitely what it took me some time to reacclimate myself to yesterday. But I think we got through that.
Did you bring more salvage?
I don't know, did I? Doesn't look like it. I only have 11 salvage right now. That's because we traded things out yesterday. One thing that I do want to check is, yesterday I think I was in like full screen window. You can't do it after you get back out to the title screen. Controls, display. So it's full screen window. I just want to be exclusive full screen. I think that is my point. Because I have a bit of a problem with Windows alerts popping up on top of the screen as an overlay, which I do not appreciate. So we should now be good to go. So the original setup for, I'm moving my head to make sure that on the tiny display that I'm looking at to monitor the live stream, that the webcam is live. As I've been sitting here thinking, going through my intro, I think I've also figured out what I need to do to get my soundboards to work.
Don't believe what they tell you on the news, kids.
I think the deal is that the soundboards do not actually inject the audio files into the live stream. They actually come out over desktop audio. Which I think, in order to get them to work on the streaming PC, what I need to actually do is I need to actually monitor desktop audio, which I normally don't do. That I have everything that I need. And my impression of this game, as I discussed yesterday, is that there is a lot more to this game than you would think. A lot more enjoyability. So I have not been able to best time. So this one just wants you to get to 25 salvage, so I think I'm going to do that. I tried to run the other one yesterday that had a time limit on it. That did not go well. Oh, do we not have a vehicle? Oh, yeah. So the intended setup for this segment, these episodes of An Accounting of Third Adventures, which is the branding label that I utilize for my Let's Play videos that feature games that are third-person action-adventure games. Key to get past
With the right tools, you can make an impossible task.
Now I wonder, no. Turrets can be used for construction. Take out the 5 communication towers. My guess is that this is, it's interesting. Mission complete, right? Well, I took out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What else do I have to do? Oh, you actually have to completely take them out. Did not realize that. But we can still do it by the time limit. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Got it, and got the goal. Very surprising. I did not think that that was going to work. And that gives me the 25 salvage that I was looking for. So let's find another objective. We got 3 clustered objectives here. Processing plant smokestack. Giddy up. But as I mentioned in Far Cry, my deal with Far Cry 5, which I play on PlayStation 4, is that, is that an EDF guy? It looks like EDF. I'm just going to run him over. Or at least I was going to try to. No, you do not. Whoa. I'm rushing. I don't see my exact specific target. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, ah! Is that some salvage? So what was supposed to happen in the setup this week is I was supposed to be using the Razer Kaio web camera, but for some reason didn't integrate very well with the setup. It caused me some problems. Just didn't really understand why. So the hammer is a choice, but it is slow. I think the way I'm going to handle this guy is I'm going to bring down the house where he's standing. You are going to come down from there. Just a matter of time. Come on. Get some cover. Yeah, I'm obsessed with bringing this whole building down. No! Oh, that's a good guy. My problem is that building has that blasted overhang. I don't want to get caught underneath there. Ooh, electrical. So there's a little bit of, whoa! There's a little bit of kind of Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, mayhem building to this. I don't know why I feel obsessed with limiting myself to utilizing the hammer today. For some reason, I don't know why, but my Android devices, they pop out of the... They always do this one time. Is they pop out of the live stream window at least once per stream. And then, then when I come back, they seem to do fine. Now I gotta go down here and handle this. This game begs for a slide maneuver. Now, of course, I could make this quicker and easier by using the remote charges to bring the building down, but remote charges are precious. So I just set the alarm off. But yeah, with each of these kind of open world mission based, proceed at your own pace, proceed, you know, how you would like, guerrilla reinforcements. I saw some salvage in here. Alright. I'm just not finding the main support timber. There's a bit of, architectural gamification here too, where I just like you need to get out of the way so I don't hit you with this hammer. Where there's some fun in trying to find the weak point. Parker Liberation mission unlocked. Very cool. I'm gonna run around and get some stuff. There's some ammo lying around here. What do we got? Now we can kind of play it like a bit more of a regular game. I just want to run through some of the rubbish here and make sure I pick up salvage. I don't know that there's a ton of things that I haven't picked up yet already. Where you at?
You're a natural.
So we're probably going to be playing this afternoon. I'm hoping we can play this afternoon till about 4 p.m. my time. May not be feasible. Wow. There's some spare salvage there that I ran over. And the whole point of salvage is you have to salvage is kind of your primary means of progression currency. And so it is what you trade at your safe house. What? What's the problem? Is what you trade for weapons upgrades. It's like 5 of 250 EDF supply. Oh, there's a bunch of salvage over here. There's another piece. Now, while salvage is kind of the currency of the day, I'm also not particularly hugely interested in just spending an unlimited amount of time finding salvage. What's with the vehicles here? Where's that coming from? Killing spree. So I grabbed a bunch of games for Nintendo Switch this morning. Super Smash Brothers, also games that were... Just gonna get in the car. Games that were up for Video Game Awards at the Video Game Awards show were also on sale. So I also finally went ahead and grabbed Diablo 3, and nope, we're not doing that. And Wolfenstein 2, which has been on my games wish list for a while. I'm not exactly sure.
Get the alert to green before you start this mission.
What? Oh. That was good, guys. Whoa, what is that? A lot of resistance here. I like that these guys, you can actually hit them and do something about them. Ooh, wow, you only have 4 rounds left? Better make them count. Okay, what do we got here now? That hammer? Yeah, I was realizing too late that that resistance, the resistance that was mounting up was too high. classic fashion, what I failed to do. Get back to the fight. When you die, you will respawn at the nearest available safe house. Your death will also cause morale to drop. What I missed was I missed the tutorial where he said, go do something before you my pistol has rounds back now at least. He said go do something before you try and take on the mission. So I gotta figure out what that was. Oh, no. The problem with this physics engine is oh no, does it not let me climb up there? That doesn't make any sense. Come on, seriously? Now what you can do is you can... That's not letting me, do I need to be on the side here? Okay, yeah, you can get inside these pipelines. Seriously, come on. This is totally goofy physics. So it won't let me climb up naturally, but it will let me jump clamber. Well, these are bad guys. If I attract too much attention, you're going to be in a world of hurt again. Wow.
Anyone near the Red Rock outpost? We're picking up an EDF patrol onto the jeep and heading right for it.
Oh. Bad on you. You didn't check to see that there were two guys there around the corner. Pistol, my assault rifle. Ammo here. Hey Diana, how you doing? Got some time to hang out on a Sunday afternoon? Certainly do appreciate you stopping by. So right now I am trying to make it back to where I just recently died. Trying to get back into the fight. I actually really don't want to get into that fight. What I missed was I missed a mission queue. Some business about something that I needed to do before I went on to this mission, which I think...
Thanks to you,
oh, no.
We're ready to make our move into dust. This is gonna be tricky. Mason, we need to create a diversion. There's an EDF sensor field east of Parker.
So, Diana, did you live stream today, or are you planning on doing so later this afternoon or tonight?
Keep them busy until we get our people through.
So I think this is a breakout mission where you're trying to...
Convoys are ready to roll. Begin your attack. Mason, stay inside the truck if you want to survive.
Where is the
We
truck?
reinforced it with armor.
Come on. So I again failed to actually listen to the mission assignment.
We can't give up the fight.
I think they want you to go get the little special truck that is in. I'm sick myself. Maybe in a few days, you know my page. I know I should be able to find it. I have not done so yet, but I will. I'll look it up and definitely follow it and like it. I apologize for not having done so yet. So do you have the flu or is it something a little less potent? Oh, there's my special truck. This truck does not look particularly well reinforced, but I'll take his word for it. It said start my attack. I didn't, oh. So I'll just run over that dude. So Diana says, no, it's okay. I was wondering if you knew my pace. It's just like a cold. It just makes me really exhausted doing it. Yep, I know how you feel.
The first sensor is down.
Good. You've got the EDF's attention.
I am sorry to hear that, by the way. A little more, caught way more air on that than I was anticipating. Take down another sensor. Oh no. No, 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 no. I can get your page out there. I can get you pushed over. Oh, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, anything you can do to help, I certainly appreciate. No, 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 what did you do? Get in the back of the truck! Yeah, my approach to streaming is a little different.
More EDF incoming.
I mean, I'm pursuing page follows because it's just kind of a thing to do. But I don't stay in on one streaming service for long. Kind of rotate around as part of my cycle of reviewing hardware, software, and services for streamers.
Convoys are moving as fast as they can. The first convoy is rolling into dust.
But I am just kind of interested to see what happens if I actively, like, make an effort to get page followers, because I normally don't. And I'm really interested in keying in on. I'm interested to find if on Facebook in particularly. It's not good. I'm interested if on Facebook in particular there's a larger interest or maybe a sole interest in guys who are playing competitive multiplayer. I know that's big on the other channels, but when I look around the other services like Twitch, I see that people who are focused on single player still have the ability to garner a pretty decent following. Seems much slower on Facebook. But yet the people playing competitive multiplayer, like statistically, their number of live viewers is just grotesquely off the chart in comparison to some people who are playing single player games. Facebook has a lot of drama the larger you get, right? Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that's kind of the, I've talked about it to a few of the other people on the Next Level Stream team and in other dialogue. It's an interesting dynamic, because of course the thing about Facebook is Facebook was a social network before it started supporting streaming, whereas on a lot of the other services, can I get moving? Can I get moving? Am I dead? Did that kill me? Yes. Whereas the interesting thing on the other services is with the other services, you stream to those services and then you wind up leveraging other formats that you have for social media in order to get the word out. That dynamic seems to be a little different than when you, crikey, I gotta do this all over. Than when you natively stream on a social network itself.
There's an EDF sensor field east of Parker. Take out these towers so the enemy can't track our movement. Every soldier in the sector will be on your ass. Keep them busy until we get.
So, Diana, do you stream predominantly on Facebook?
The convoys are ready to roll. Begin your attack. Mason, stay inside the truck if you want to survive. We reinforced it with armor.
I think what I'm going to have to do here...
The first sensor is down.
Let's knock down these sensors, keep moving, and I'm gonna need to make a vehicle change at some point. I think it's the other key part to this mission. Oop. Alright, I got it. Mostly Facebook. I try to do Twitch. Life is just too crazy at the moment. Yeah, I've been very tempted because, of course, a lot of the people in Next Level streamers stream to Twitch, and a lot of, as I've tried this whole networking thing, a lot of my support network, a lot of the people whose streams I go to view and who come view mine are Twitch streamers, and I briefly considered this weekend. I was like, you know, what would it look like if you stopped this whole shtick of like floating around to the different live stream services to review and comment and blog about the differences between them, and just, you know, picked one place to be your home. And then I kind of bounced off that idea. So I was like, I don't know that I want to declare loyalty to one service above all others. I think I prefer being somebody who knows intimately the differences between plastic. And again, I mishit the E button. What's going on here? Alright, so vehicle armor, structural integrity is not that low.
That wasn't my plan.
Can I get the truck down? Oh no. That's not good. Let's get something different. Guess I've been wanting to stick to one, but it's hard. And my problem is going to be what happens if this thing is not as reinforced as the other truck. It may mean that I have to switch vehicles more frequently. Both platforms have their cons. Right, yeah. And that's not cool. What is that one? The one up on a hill? How do I get to that one? Get out of the vehicle. Get out of the car. Can I get in there? Can you just carjack it? Oh, this says... Got the... what? Really gotta... come on with the ragdoll. Yeah, they definitely do. You know, when I first started streaming, I kind of focused on Twitch. Man. I'm getting housed. Destroy the vehicle. Come on. Stamus, you were not proceeding about this. Why? No weapon on this thing. Okay. My main problem is that there's one up here on a hill. So when I first started streaming, I started streaming on Twitch, as a lot of people do. Here we go. This thing has been my... and there were problems with Twitch. There were some integration problems, like exporting your video to YouTube, and just stability problems that I found when using mobile apps on different platforms. So I started casting my eyes around for different solutions, and really started investigating YouTube, and became aware of the primarily the big difference in video quality that you can achieve. And took up residence on YouTube for a long time. Just destroy this one manually. There we go. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? But my main problem, get in the car. My main problem with Twitch, you know, at the outset was the fact that I find discoverability on Twitch to be a big problem. Like, if you were not somebody streaming, you know, one of the top 5 to 8 games, it's very difficult for people. It's very difficult for people to discover you natively. Now, you can go in and search and find anything you want, and actually I've been spending a lot of time, because in my regular work life, I'm working on some search solutions for different domains, professional domains and applications. You guys are going to have to give me 1 second. I got to deal with an intruder real quick. So let me put you on the Be Right Back screen.
Rien suffit. Rien suffit. Rien suffit. Oui, rien suffit. Rien suffit pour miner, mais rien suffit pour réanimer. J'ai tout le nécessaire pour stimuler l'esprit, l'aérer ou l'aider. Apprendre la vie du bon côté, le côté positif, oui, le côté battant. L'autre versant de la montagne ou du volcan humain, celui qui le plus se manifeste dans mes écrits. Attends donc un peu, il revient. Attends, comme le retour du printemps. À présent, Tintin, l'ambiance du renouveau. Regarde ma pensée déteinte sur la tienne. Je détiens la force de la sérénité, même si je fais des pieds et des mains pour maintenir le fou rire dans ce monde en couleur terne que je dépeins. Puis repeins, où les vivants s'apparentent aux défunts, se résignant à la fatalité omniprésente d'un destin de stress, de pression sans fin. Obsession du gars et des biens matériels, c'est sans frein.
Sorry, I looked right at the Elgato Stream Deck thing, and I swore it said that the mic was active. But it didn't. It clearly said mic muted, which I should know because I programmed it to say mic muted. A little sleepy this afternoon. I think I got like 3 hours of sleep Friday night, and chocolate. It's on, right? It's on now, Aaron, right? My mic is on now, right? I can check it myself. Yep, okay, alright. Jeez. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to step away for, oh yeah, we partied hard last night. Let me check one other thing. I'm not gonna push it to the BRB scene. I'm just gonna go out here and check this, and I'll be right back. I'm just gonna manually mute the mic with the hardware setting. I will be right back, sorry. Sorry about that. Hopefully we'll be able to keep plugging along here for another chunk of time. Level 1 armor.
Well done. We've managed to push the EDF out of Parker. But our job isn't finished. The EDF...
So yeah, Aaron, but I was up for like another hour after we got
More
off.
help to drive them out. The commander wants us to focus on Dash next. If the EDF loses the sector, they lose their main source of income on Mars. Good luck.
And I noticed that you were up late still last night too. What the fuck? So it's snowing here, and I think the school system keeps trying to call me about like different things that they've canceled for the day. I'm like, yes, just text. Like, you've got my mobile number. I don't need a phone call from the automated system. Just send an SMS. I know they're trying to be thorough, but it just gets aggravating. Not too happy that my ride is all janked up here. And again, as Geurrilla accuses me of, I didn't really pay any attention to the mission briefing, so don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, what? Yes, so it opened up to a different... Huh. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to the safe house first. Get weapons, upgrades, ammo. Before we go traipsing about the surface of Mars into new territory. So Aaron says, stream was so lit last night, I haven't had that much fun streaming in a little bit. LOL, yeah, I stayed up talking to Darth Bane for a little while. Cool. Why did I see yellow navigation marks the other way? Is it having me go over here when I could have just gone right? I've got a lot of things in the backlog now. Technically not in the backlog. I call them games on my prestige list. Which means the games...
Sending orders to attack civilians to officers via courier. Stop that information from getting to them.
What, is this a real-time pop-up mission? Is that it over there? Come on. Interception, great. Fine. This is Popo en route. Stop what I'm doing. So, I was mentioning early in the stream, so I'm playing this just because I did some recent upgrades to some PCs in the studio. And I didn't... Dang, splat it. Seriously? I know it's an interception objective. Can you control the vehicle back? Completely whiffed. I thought I could shortcut around that. Ah, come on. Oh, don't you chip over the edge. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? No. Ah, seriously? Can I? Ah, no! This interception mission might be a failure. I don't know why he bounces off of. That's it. I'm not going to be able to. Now I'm just angry. And everyone is going to pay. Is that actually the courier vehicle? Proceeding on foot. Damn, I missed a lit stream. Yeah, it was oh, I didn't mean to kill the civilian.
They're gone.
Great.
We need you to be better, Mason.
Shut up. That was kind of not cool, though. So there's a weapons cache down here to the lower left. Aaron says, haha, I got pretty rowdy. Hello, what games you only stream, Diana? I'm curious about that, too. I know what Aaron streams. Where's the weapons cache? Inside? Yes, it is inside the building. Alright, so nothing new there. New handbook entry. There are points for destroying something over here. Is it this thing? Time to take it down. Who is shooting at me? No. No. I don't know that I know how to take this thing down. I don't want to get chewed up by that blade either. I bet you gotta take the legs down. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So I still have... Great. Done and done. Oh! Having a hard time keeping up with the chat now. Diana says, RPGs mostly. I love streams that are fun. What about you, Aaron? My streams can be fun. Come on. I feel the desire to take down this mining facility. Attracted a lot of unwanted attention there. Ah! Yeah, maybe let's not. Hydrogen barrels aren't blowing? They're not. Let me get back on the hammer. Oh, first-person shooters too. Yeah, I definitely play a healthy amount of first-person shooters. In fact, the fact that I'm playing this third-person action-adventure game is a little bit unusual for me. It tends to be a genre I'm not overly enamored with. Mainly because this is a third-person. Oh. A third-person action-adventure game that's a little more akin to a shooter, though. I wonder, I gotta take down a lot of stuff to take down this mining facility. Can I get these towers? Come on, 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 come on. Seriously? I have to run all the way around. I also stream, Aaron says, I also stream RPGs and shooters. I stream a lot of the Fallout games, Gears of War, and Sea of Thieves, and then I variety stream if anyone makes a request.
A courier is bringing tactical info to some troops. Find
Yeah.
the courier and secure the information.
I hate that these guys do that flippin' combat roll mess. This building's coming down. Of course, the problem is when you take a building down in this game, it denies you cover. And I need to be careful not to be inside the building when it comes down either. This is getting a little too Grand Theft Auto-ish. Killing spree. I think I'm just gonna depart the area. My objective was to get to the safe house. So Aaron and Diana are hitting it off. And I'm left all here by... Oh, no, 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 no. Being left here all to my lonesome. No problem. No problem. I have spent many a party holding up the wall, so... I'll just be here in the corner. Now, why... Of course, Aaron would come into my stream and steal all the popularity. My favorite thing to stream is Zelda, but I also do some others like Red Dead Redemption, Halo. I like to do viewer requests as well. So my question for you, Diana, is Red Dead Redemption. So I got Red Dead Redemption 2 for the Xbox One. And near as I can tell, between my start of it and talking to everyone else, the game seems like it has an upfront investment required of about 16 hours before you actually get to the point where the game really starts. We are gamer girls. Of course we get along. Nope, that's a very interesting topic. One which Aaron and I plan to explore with Aaron and Gary on our soon-to-be kicking off podcast covering streaming. Come on. Because I've noticed you mentioned, Diana, earlier that there are problems on Facebook when you get popular, and I am very interested in talking about, you know, how women support each other as streamers, and whether or not the default, whether or not there's a strong surge to support women as streamers, or if there's more, I don't know if infighting is the right term, but it's a minority issue that I want to talk about because, as a minority myself, that's a thing that needs to be discussed and observed as well, as far as African Americans supporting each other versus competing against each other. It's just an interesting societal dynamic when you look at the fact that as a minority group, you're often under duress and under siege by majority groups, and how do you work against that, while at the same time standing out and differentiating yourself as well, right? It's one of the key things that I'm very sensitive to, and that I want to discuss on that podcast, as well as in our group, Next Level Streamers, is part of the dichotomy to me is the fact that streamers and streaming is inherently an individual sport, right? And I find that streamers get very focused on their own shtick, right? It's, you know, the number of hours you need to put in streaming and the number of followers you need to achieve in building your own community. And it's a little counterintuitive when, like on something like Next Level Streamers, we ask you to step outside of that and contribute and become part of like a collective, as more of a group effort. So Aaron says, no, I just want to socialize with everyone, LOL, I don't want to make anyone feel excluded. I was just joking with you, Aaron. Diana says, same, just want to be friendly with all. And then Aaron says, oh, I want to be included in that convo if it's for the podcast. Yeah, Aaron, it's absolutely for the podcast. Diana says, no offense, but men and their ego get in the way. Women actually lift each other up. And then Diana says, not all men, but some definitely are not fond of streaming. So Diana, when you say that, do you mean some, not all men are fond of women who stream? Who's shooting over there? And then Diana says, I like a group effort. Yeah, I do too. I just like... So for me, a lot of what's going on with streaming and the collection and aggregation of streamers in groups or societal teams is, a lot of it to me is it's a replacement for multiplayer, right? Back at the start of the Xbox 360 generation, I found it was pretty easy to play in public matches with randos and find people that you liked and could kind of clump together and stay on as friends. Dana says fond of sharing, my bad. They want to be selfish when it comes to streaming. Yeah, exactly. That's what I have found. And it's not even necessarily like just like deliberately selfish. It is almost myopic or like they're just not sufficiently self-aware, I would say, and they don't sufficiently externalize. It's a very like internalized view of what's going on. Plus 5 remote charges. Okay, so that increases my remote charger count. Ooh, that gets me the arc welder. So so the rocket launcher is available, but I still need to find enough salvage to actually include it. I'm gonna get that arc welder. That's what I'm talking about.
It's like static electricity, only it can kill you.
So now my salvage is down to 10. I'm not gonna be able to. Now my question is how does that figure? So I've got the hammer, remote charges, assault rifle, pistol. I think I gotta go back to my weapons locker to... Oh, that's pistol range. Okay, how's that... What's...
My dad made the red faction sound so glamorous. Damn shit.
Aaron says, I'm in another Facebook Twitch group, and so many of those men are so toxic about women streaming. They act like we have an advantage over them, and it's not fair. So, getting a little into things I want to say for the podcast, but since we're talking about it, this is maybe some preliminary activity, right, in the pursuit of that. So here's my, I don't want to say problem, but my lack of understanding. I'm going to try and figure out how do I assign that? So it's on 3. Purchase the upgrade table. So do I have all 5 weapons now? That's the question. I never hit button 5, so maybe. No, I think I gotta
Miller's house got raided last night.
get this down to 4. So then Aaron says, I'll let it alone. I want to save it for the podcast. And this is, I want to actually start a group of different streamers who stream whenever a place to be positive. Well, I mean, and I'm not, I'm certainly not solely in control of next level streamers, but I know that's one of my personal. It's proven to be a pretty great group so far. Aaron says, yeah, I agree. I hope. I think we still have some things to, get off a top dead center as far as people like participating and not being hyper focused on like their own gig. My sense of it in these first couple weeks is that the admins are really great and have a great vibe, but the larger group, expanding that out to the second, third circle of participants is still something we need to work on. I am trying to figure out how the hell to assign. So you can't assign anything with the hammer. The arc welder's on 3. Is it? It's not. I gotta figure this out. Okay, remote charges is on. Remote charges is not on 1. So I do not have the arc welder armed. That's the thing. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. There we go. So there's the arc welder. Alright, that's what I want. I want the arc welder, the pistol, and the assault rifle, so we're good. So my thing is, you mentioned, men who are not fond of women streamers. And I'm very fond of women streamers. In fact, in general, I find when I go into streams to view, women seem to be more conversant and participatory of people in chat. Like, a lot of times, now granted, I'm somebody who's hyperactive in chat, but what I find is generally when I go into a stream, like when it's a male, it is sometimes often difficult to get their attention to the chat. But where some of the animosity may be, and again, I'm trying to figure this out because I don't understand it all, is there's the importance. Okay, so we're going to go down and hit this thing. So part of what's in this dialogue is, I feel, is the notion, or the accusation, that there are women who dress in a certain way or behave a certain way in an effort to garner followers. And I mean doing things that are outside of gaming. So Diana says, I wonder if men viewers think differently of gamer girls. You mean in terms of what I was saying about trying to get people's attention in chat? So let me know if that's what you were saying, and I'll break off from my monologue. So I find what's interesting about that conversation about, are there women who dress provocatively in an effort to attract male followers? What I find interesting about that conversation is that it breaks down. I'm going to try and not get overly political. I'm just going to call out things as examples. To me, it breaks down very much like the conversation of gun control in this country, where the problem isn't necessarily that there isn't a thing that would work. The problem is that there are two sides of the argument which are in the extreme. And what I mean by that is there's a conversation probably largely propagated by men that say there are women who dress provocatively in an effort to gain male followers, and that's all they do, and they're not gamers, and they don't really have any interest in games. But equally, there are people who then claim that there's no such thing as women who dress provocatively in an effort to gain male followers, and I'm like, neither of those two things is true, right? And voiced with a certain degree of religious fervor. I mean, both of those opinions are kind of completely bullshit. The truth is something in between. I believe that there are some women who dress provocatively in an effort to gain male followers and are not largely about games, as far as like playing multiple games in multiple genres. And I think by the same token, there are a lot of women who are not about that, who just wear what's comfortable, who get falsely accused of that as well, and neither one of those things is good, in my opinion. But I think, unfortunately, the only way to have that conversation is, for everybody to lower their weapons and talk about it with a degree of, this thing has weapons on the front of it. I've gotten myself completely wrapped up about social issues and I can't focus on the game. Like, you can't have a conversation about that when people, state opinions that are always so far to the left in the extreme. So Diana says, like, that we are not as good as any man. Right. I wonder if... And then Diana says, I don't really approve of some of these women dressing flashy for views, but to each their own. Right, so that's my thing. And that is the way I feel, too. So, I don't know. I feel like there's a need to acknowledge that exists. Like the defense that there are some men who are just jealous of the number of viewers that a female has. And that's definitely the case. There are definitely dudes who just rail because they can't get as many viewers. And I get that. But like I said, I think that sometimes there's this tendency to slip towards, slip in the direction of, like, the notion of provocatively dressed women just doesn't exist and it's an entirely made-up phenomena. I think that's, like, not rational either, so... Yeah, gamers, talk it out. I'd love to see that. Yeah, and I know, like I said, I know for me, I mean, I don't have... Gaming skill is not anything that's gender-specific. Like, the notion that it is, again, to me, would be irrational. Okay, so I think we're already mounted up with guns, right? I'll just check in here for ammo. We're gonna have to go back and retry that. You're always tanked up with ammo. Okay. Let's grab a vehicle. Colonial Transit Authority. Aaron says that's part of what happened with that split recently, I guess, because I literally heard his voice recording saying it wasn't fair, I was more popular than him. And it was because I showed way more love to everyone than he ever did. Oh, you're talking about our irrational friend? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there were things... There were opinions that I had while that whole thing was going down that I didn't always voice. I may have mentioned it to Carrie just as a matter of opinion. I may have mentioned it to you. I'll leave that alone too. And I got some accusations thrown my way as well. But my big thing is, well, again, right, when we're having this conversation of, like, who can you have a conversation with? You can't have a conversation with irrational people, right? Like a guy who, you know, or a person who just accuses me of something that was nowhere in my path of decision-making, leaps to that conclusion and declares it as a statement of truth. Like, that's an irrational human being that you can't have a conversation with. So Diana says, I met that guy yesterday in my friend's stream. Seems there's drama on all sides of streaming. Right, like, look. Oh, that was a mistake. You know, so I spent time in the military, right? And there are certain things that we do as a country, military action, that are often driven by somebody, you know, the behavior of a person who has a penchant for not being responsive to negative input, right? Like, a person puts their hand on a hot stove, they mentioned stop doing it. If you put a person's hand on a hot stove, anytime they take a certain action, most human beings eventually stop taking that action, right? So, you fire tomahawks into somebody's country every time they take a certain action. You know, when as a leader they don't respond to that, then they are proving themselves to be irrational. Right, so, oh my good, what the flip just happened? Are you guys seeing this? Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe we got that on TV. I can't believe that happened on stream. That's a severe physics engine problem there. Dana says it seems jealousy is the cause of all of it. I think Aaron's laughing at what just happened. Ooh, that dude just flew up in the air. So I will admit, part of my problem in this game is I get obsessed with using the hammer. Did you?
Stop that information from getting.
What? It's funny, but it just put me on the completely opposite side of the map from where I was trying to head. And these dudes are deadly accurate. I think I'm about to... Oh, we're electrocuting fools now. My stream is delayed, but that was awesome. Well, I wish you could definitively tell. Okay. Alright, here we go. Now we gotta go back to the hammer. With the leaping, jumping, destruction. Dana says, oh, you're indestructible. I'm definitely a bullet sponge. Not entirely indestructible. Oh, well, as far as, like, the flying through the air. Yeah, my biggest fear the first time that happened was I was scared that I was gonna take, gonna get some hit points taken off when I landed. Because normally, if you do that deliberately, you probably wouldn't have survived that jump. Oh, did you just clip that, Aaron? I didn't even know you could do clips on Facebook. Alright, so I'm gonna head to the next safe house. I think I need to heal up. There's a bit of a just cause effect in this, I would say, too, where it's hard for me to resist things that are clearly available for you to destroy and take down. I'm gonna have to invoke some viewer respect to the stream here, too, 'cause I'm sure may not be entirely fun to just watch me running around and hammering things into oblivion. I think so. Thank you very much, Aaron. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I think there's some interesting things to talk about. I mean, one of the things we're definitely going to do on the podcast is, my desire is for about half of it to be, that's not good. Okay, so that didn't kill me. I'm sure it was. Which were probably half our time to be spent talking about social issues in streaming. And then the other part to be, you know, talking tech, software, and services. Oh. You need to recognize when you're battering on something that's explosive. Alright, I think about now I'm ready to look for a vehicle. I don't think I want to use up all the ammo in my arc welder. Let's hope that these guys drop some ammo. They did. Need to find a vehicle to jack. Oh, bulldozer. Bulldozer just ran over that person. The link isn't working today. It's kind of cool to hammer things. Yeah, I like, Gary was in the stream the other day and was commenting about how much I enjoyed the hammer, and I told him it was a lot like, dude just throw a grenade at me? Okay, here we go. Ah! I was hoping I was gonna get to him. Please do not run me over with that bulldozer. That would be some ish. And it says, I'd love to discuss solutions anytime with you. Well, Diana, you know, one of the things we're going to do on that podcast is I want to have a pretty heavy rotation of guests. So we will definitely look to cue you in to being a guest on the show. Absolutely. Because part of my notion is that, you know, streaming to me is where the discussion on games is moving. You know, after years of, like, Dig and being in the IGN comments and Reddit, I feel like the conversation of games, like in your stream the other night, Aaron, like, we had a big conversation start up about BioWare games and RPGs, and I feel like that's the place to go, because I'm always in the search for the most robust, intellectually engaging conversations. Why are you getting out of the vehicle? Get back in the car. Is the safe house here? It is. Okay. And so I feel like the best conversations in gaming are taking place in live streams now. And so, you know, I have a big interest in, okay, I can't wait to hear the podcast. Yeah, very cool. Thanks so much. We're supposed to kick it off, like, next month, once Gary gets done traveling. Although, it's been kind of funny, it seems like Gary's at home now, so I haven't asked him. I'm just sticking with the notion of kicking it off in January, just because on the podcast network as it is, we're heading into the end of the year, and for the games crew, that's an incredibly busy time. So we're gearing up for our
we're losing the people.
The equivalent of our Game of the Year show, but what we specifically do is gaming superlatives. So kind of like when you graduated from high school, you had high school superlatives, and you had, you know, most likely to succeed. We create about a dozen categories of games to break them out across different categories, and then have that discussion. And it's not really a singular selection, it's just each of the four co-hosts makes their selection and makes that part of the discussion. Alright, let's see what mayhem we are going to cause next. I'm starting to get a feel for the progression model of this. Now this is endgame for this sector. I think what I'm going to focus on is completing these destruction targets and maybe helping out with some of the guerrilla actions before I go take down whatever the main objective is for the area. Oh, I didn't realize. I've seen him jumping in and out of the cupola, but I haven't keyed in on that this is kind of like a little tank or APC. I probably really need to get one of my keyboard wrist rests. Left wrist is killing me. It's starting to cause a bit of a problem. I want to drive one of these pieces of yellow gear at some point. I got to figure out how to jack those. So my question for you guys is, I was talking a little bit about my, not my backlog, but like I said, my prestige list, my list of 2018 releases that I have yet to play that I need to get some game time in before the year is out. One of those games is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And then I just plunked down for a bunch of games on the Switch this morning, picking up Super Smash Brothers and what? It's another impromptu mission, as well as Diablo 3 on Switch and Wolfenstein 2 on Switch. Another data intercept mission. So my question for you guys is, what other games do you have in your queue? Or games that are holiday releases that you still plan on picking up or playing through, or games you bought in 2018 that you haven't had a chance to spend as much time in that you definitely want to over the holidays? I haven't played any games released this year. I need to. So you basically spent the year plowing through your backlog, Diana? Oh, there's the data thing. Now my problem is I just don't know how to. It says intercept.
This must be the courier.
Like, am I supposed to? I guess I'm supposed to just beat his vehicle into submission. Where'd he go? Until he's destroyed. That would be easiest done by getting out of the vehicle and. Dang it! Where'd he go? Man. Am I running out of time? Yeah. Ah, man.
We need you to be better, Mason.
So Aaron says, I don't think I have any left for this year, but I really need to push myself to play through the rest of Fallout 76. That game burns you out so quick. Diana says, I guess I just got a PS4, so I want to get some titles for that. Very cool. I've got to get better at those intercept missions. I would agree. She's absolutely right. Or I just need to say I'm not playing your intercept missions. I'm doing what I want to do. Like I said, I think my thing is going to be my plan. It's going to be I'm going to do these destruction targets. That seems to be the real core game. Ooh. I like this little tank thing. I just started streaming in April, so I've been playing games I enjoy. Yeah, that's an interesting conversation too. You know, Aaron, I was talking to Aaron and I said that, you know, I didn't realize Aaron was a variety streamer. When she got Fallout 76, I thought Aaron was just going to be on Fallout 76 for like 2 months. So I was kind of surprised to see the amount of variation in what she plays. What the? Well, why does my navigational cue keep changing? I'm missing a turn. What are they? I wonder if the point is they're trying to tell me to go up over that bridge. It's one of these things I just have to figure out how to get there on my own. Come on, come. All right. We're going on foot. This is frustrating me. Damn tank won't climb the hill. Is that a bad guy? That is a bad guy. That's a bad guy. There's gonna have to be something done about that. Hope those guys were isolated and by themselves. Yeah, so, So it's interesting how live streaming kind of skews what you might otherwise normally play. I know I used to... So my stick used to be, I used to play a game for about 2 hours at a time. Like I could just never do more than 2 hours in any one sitting. And then I would need to switch to something else. Now I might do that rotation like for 3 nights in a row. But then generally after like 3 days of doing that, I'm like done. Like I need to move to something else, switch platforms. But recently, this year in particular, I've been trying to stay a little bit more committed to a game. And I've noticed that it's actually more enjoyable. I used to get bored and distracted if I stuck with the thing too long, but I've noticed that actually sticking with the game for a little bit longer, like playing a dedicated 6 to 8 hour block over a couple of days of time, I tend to get a little more immersed in a game and start figuring more things out about it. And I get less wrapped around the axle about, like, being exposed to lots of different systems in a very short period of time. But, you know, for live streaming, and admittedly I go through a lot more churn than, sorry I missed the last part. No, I was just talking about how frequently I change games and how, because of live streaming, I've been changing games less frequently. You know, so now I'll do 4 live streams in a row, and for those 4 live streams, I stick with one game. And part of that is because, you know, once I get everything connected and rigged up and I get the audio mix balance correct, I'm trying to reduce the amount of churn I have and, you know, switching games or switching to a different platform. And I was commenting that Aaron, and that's what part of what Aaron was saying last night too, was she actually switches games up more frequently now because of streaming than maybe she would have done before of her own accord. Alright, so let's figure out what we want to do next. So it looks like there's no more destruction targets in the area. I've got 2 mission targets. Obtain red faction orders. Oh no, there's more destruction targets down here. So let's go do that. Like I said, I think in this game what I want to do is focus on knocking out all the destruction targets in the area. Oh, what do we got going on here? More people inbound. Need to pick up ammo. And then proceed to get out of here. Oh, my tank is still down there. Or somebody drove a tank up there. So, you guys are going to need to excuse me for 1 second. I've got to get a wrist rest. I've got one right here. So, again, I'll apologize. Some people who know me know that I'm just starting to, just this year, I think I've been suffering from it for a while. I think this year I'm just starting to admit it, that suffering from a little bit of carpal tunnel syndrome, which, given the amount of time that I spend on computers, shouldn't be that much of a surprise, I guess. Alright. Nice thing is the tank doesn't take a lot of damage. People are shooting at it. I kind of think it's funny now to run over other vehicles in it as well, so it doesn't take that much damage. Although I think that was a minor. I need to knock that off. not lose too much influence in the area. Those wrist rests are necessary. Yeah, I ignored it for many years, maybe as much as a decade and a half. But now, yeah, now I keep two keyboard rests and two. I feel like I don't need the mouse rests as much, but definitely the keyboard rests. So Diana and Aaron, have either of you guys ever played a game in the Red Faction series? And you guys have had ample time this afternoon to see the game demonstrated. I'm wondering if this looks like something you would be interested in playing. Dude, don't run out in front of the tank. I don't want to have to run over you. So sorry, we're gotta figure out schedules for this afternoon. Aaron says, I have not ever played them, but I'm enjoying watching. I appreciate it. So what do you guys have on your playlist for the week? I know, Aaron, you said your focus has been more so on the hurt, more so on playing the games that you enjoy rather than kind of keeping up with the latest and greatest. I've had, I don't know, I kind of weirdly float, like, no. Basically what I generally have is I generally have a year where I'm like insistent that I play like the stuff that's coming out, and I'm aware of that, and that, you know, I'm part of that, you know, what's been the best game this year conversation. And then I have years where, like you said, I just want to focus on like my backlog and get through those games. Aaron says, be right back, my 4-year-old is hollering for me. Yep, I definitely get that and know how that is. But Diana, for you, what's in heavy rotation for you right now? And thanks for saying that you guys enjoy seeing the gameplay on the live stream. I appreciate it. That's kind of one of the things I try to do in my live streams, and one of the reasons I am a variety streamer is I know a lot of people don't get a chance to play, you know, a lot of different games, or aren't aware of a lot of different games that are out. So Diana says, do a run for Mario 64 tournament and finish up Twilight Princess. Yeah, I've played a chunk of Zelda. Now, first of all, so I'm not a Zelda guy. In fact, I've never enjoyed a Zelda game when I have played them. I tried... Was Twilight... whatever the one that was on that was the launch title on the Wii. Ooh. I tried and I got into that, and I was trying to convincing myself that I liked it. The reality was I didn't. And then I started picking out things in its game design that I really didn't like. And it wasn't just me being aggro or uber macho. But they were generally things that, like, just me as a gamer, I didn't like. Then start The Last of Us. Yeah, that's you mentioned you just got a PlayStation 4. There are so many great games to get into in that library. You've got the Uncharted, you know, series, the collection. In fact, let's see, I'm gonna do this. This sometimes does not always work well whenever I try and move the webcam, but I don't know if you can see my Last of Us poster up there on the wall. My heart just broke. Oh, because I said I'm not a Zelda person, and I bounce off of Zelda games. I don't know if you were able to see the poster. I always try to move the camera, and then that, like, never works. So... the Zelda game on, On the Switch, though, I mean, I played through a chunk of that. I wound up bouncing off of it. Not bouncing off of it, but just I haven't completed it just because I have so many other games that I need to play or have to play. But I found, I'm forgetting the name of it, Breath of the Wild. But I completely, thoroughly found that game enjoyable. And part of the reason was because I think the younger generation of game developers at Nintendo incorporated some elements of Western RPG design, and I found that mix of Western and Eastern influences in RPG game design to be kind of perfectly balanced in Breath of the Wild. What else was I? Yeah. Oh, thanks, appreciate it. I'm glad that worked. Like I said, weird things that you try and do from a content perspective on camera in anything. Both during live streams and in podcasts often tend not to work well. Oh, blast it. I didn't mean to pull the hammer. I need to get the flock out of here. Okay, that's a human being. I'm hoping that we got another destructed target down here. Nope, no. Come on, lock it up. That's it. That's it. You saw the poster? See how much I can destroy by just driving the tank into it. Apparently a fair number of things. It's interesting to me that, whoa, no. Don't flip the tank, don't flip the tank, don't flip the... Flip the damn tank. No, don't tell me he's dead. You have to do all that over. So we're getting snowed in here, so our schedule for the afternoon is kind of in flux. Just trying to get that straightened out. Continue. Any coffee left? Yeah. Huh, so it started me down at the Southern Safe House. I need to look up on game lengths how long this game is, too. It's probably not the most graphically intensive game, necessarily, that I've installed on the system. But it was a 2018 release. Ah, I got the thing with the guns on front of it. Did I know that this thing had guns mounted? I don't know that I knew that this thing had guns mounted on the front of it. What would you consider your favorite game? So my favorite game of all time, I would probably say, well, number one, I don't know that I can say one. I'm very bad about that. Except with movies, I can declare my top two favorite movies of all time are The Princess Bride and Last of the Mohicans. That has not changed in the years intervening. When it comes to games, it gets a little more difficult because of the different genres and the different moods. But generally, I say that Max Payne, the first Max Payne game, is my favorite game of all time. And that's because, as I mentioned, I'm not a gamer who is really super crazy about like the 40-hour, lengthy RPG experience. But that just tends to not be me. I mean, probably perfect game length for me is really like about 20 to 30 hours.
EDF convoy leaving the wind farm and headed for Parker. Don't let him make it that far.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing your intercept missions. So Max Payne is about 8 to 12 hours of gameplay, and that to me is just perfectly suited to like my attention span. And it was, at the time, it was a beautiful game. It was the first one to do bullet time, and it was kind of like, it was a game that was kind of like basically playing a John Woo movie. You know, water cooler conversations. You know, when I'd come into work the next day to try and explain to people like, you know, what I'd experienced the night before that game. It was very much, like I said, it sounded like I was describing like a big-time action flick like The Matrix. And it's a game that I always love going back and replaying because it's an 8 to 12 hour experience. It's not like you're sacrificing anything major in terms of giving up time to play games. So yeah, Max Payne. You can kind of throw Max Payne 1 and 2 in with that. I'm gonna have to handle some business. I don't think that the arc welder is gonna... No, that's a hammer. I don't know, what about you, Diana? What would you say your favorite cave is? And I would probably rank Sid Meier's Pirates up there as well. That's a game that just lends itself to kind of you creating your own kind of narrative out of it. Like I could easily write like fanfic about Sid Meier's Pirates. I mean, also given the amount of time that I personally spent, you know, in the Caribbean, and just romanticizing that age of piracy and age of sail. I will say, one thing I like about this game, this has been, I've recently had a lot of problems with a lot of games that I feel like really don't do a good job of directionally conveying to you where enemies are. I feel like I don't have, this game probably does one of the best games, and it doesn't even have like an enemy radar. But a lot of games do this like directional threat thing when somebody's shooting at you, and it's always a little bit off. This one is spot on though. No. I think what I'm getting a sense for in this game too is so Dana says, so weren't you in Decipher stream yesterday? Yeah, I was in Decipher stream. So this is going to be an interesting thing, right? Because I am learning and growing as a gamer as we do this live streaming thing. The Cypher plays games that I am categorically, historically not interested in. Oh, Aaron's got a red. I can't wait to catch y'all later. Well, thanks so much, Aaron, for joining in on the live stream. I do appreciate it. I didn't catch the earlier part of her comment. I don't know if something's going on with the kid and she needs to bounce. One thing I don't like is, supposedly, these cannons were supposed to auto-aim. They do not seem to auto-aim. You can jump up and manually aim. Why am I not... This thing must be stuck or something. Get in the car and get out of here. Like I said, Aaron, thanks so much for hanging out this afternoon. I do certainly appreciate it. I'm going to get out of this vehicle. Notice an interesting pathway up here. It seemed to be accessible. I think it's got to be, right? They wouldn't have made the graphic for this great. I get somebody shooting at me. Some really bad physics up here. I wonder if this is supposed to be a sniping position. I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. Then it says, my favorite is Wind Waker. It has a lot of nostalgia memories. Oh, blasted. Of my mom. And it says, sorry I didn't hear what you said in my comments. My kids were being nuts today. I don't think I said anything really of material importance. I think I was just saying goodbye to Aaron. And when you asked about the Cypher stream, yeah, I was in his stream, but I'm not like a huge, like I don't play retro games in general. We talk about that a lot on my mainstream weekly gaming podcast. And, you know, as we've seen like this huge outgrowth in the retro gaming consoles and stuff, and that's why I asked Decipher, because I noticed he plays a lot of emulators, and I was wondering if he was just interested in just getting a retro console and not having to fight with all the technical problems and issues associated with running your own emulator. Oh, there's a tank. Salvage. Because I would certainly say, if I did like playing retro games, I'm not a retro player either. Yeah, I would certainly say if I was a retro player, what I would do is I would get, excuse me, is I would get a retro console, and like I said, I would, as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't have time to slog through like extremely difficult technical problems. Like that takes away from my time gaming, and as I've gotten older, like that time just becomes more and more precious, becomes more and more limited. And that's why a lot of times, you know, like I listen to some of the arguments, and people are like, oh well, you know, you don't have to do that. You can just run an emulator. You don't need this. I'm like, dude, like I don't have that time. If I'm playing something retro, I'm just gonna buy a thing and just play on that. Tylen, what's going on, man? How you doing? Appreciate you stopping by. The oldest thing I have is a Wii. Yeah, and I mean, my stick historically has been like when the next generation console comes out. It's a conversation that I often have about like the value of backwards compatibility and stuff. And generally, when a new console comes out. Oh, Corey. Hey, Corey, how are you doing? I'm not sure if I know Corey or not. Corey says, I Decipher's Gaming Nexus. You missed a good convo, Decipher. Did I? I invited him. Well, I certainly appreciate you guys dropping by the live stream, and if you're inviting other people, I appreciate that as well. So let's see. I can bump my remote charge count. Remote charge. And nope, that's too much. Let's bump my remote charge count. Even though, no, let's because I don't like the remote charge weapon, so let me cancel that. Let's hold off and wait to bump arc welder ammo. And the third, oh, there's lots of additional stuff down here I didn't even realize. Yeah, let's hold off on doing any upgrades. Save that salvage for later. I own Decipher's Gaming Nexus. Oh, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. I should have made that connection. I know people were calling you Corey during your live stream. I'm just a little slow this afternoon. I'm on very little sleep. And Diana co-owns.
Those drones are going to be coming for you now.
Okay. So we need to get about the business of figuring out what to do. Okay, so now I have taken down all the... What the flip? I didn't know all this. Okay, so apparently we have many, many more. So the question is, do I keep... I'd said that I was going to insist on taking down all destruction targets in the area. Maybe we should do a little mission gameplay, though. So we are getting down to probably my last 15 minutes of the live stream. So there's one mission to the south, one mission in the middle region here, another one here to the east. So yeah, let's start clearing out the mission areas by sector. So let's go get the mission briefing. We'll actually try and pay attention. Corey, we should do a podcast, you know, so we can steal TC's idea. Alright, let's get in that. Alright, people, everybody get out of the way. I don't want to run over civilians and take a hit on local morale. Because the AI can't pathfind. Here we go. Rolling. So Diana, not as he has issues with irrational people too. I do. Yeah, what I tweeted out yesterday. Okay, this is up past. Oh no, the mission briefing's over here. What I tweeted out yesterday is like I'm not gonna have a, because this happened recently. Like, I'm not gonna have an argument with somebody who's arguing speculation against things like that I know.
The miners have turned to us for help.
And I said in my tweet, like, look, I'm just going to state my facts and then I'm going to walk away. And what I notice with irrational people is many times they stand around arguing with themselves, like after you've left the argument, and they still stand around, like, arguing their highly speculative point of, like, things that they claim they know that they don't know. It's really... I was going to say it's aggravating. It's really not. It's like, I don't have time to deal with you. Alright, I guess we're going to do Industrial Revolution, and I claimed that I was going to pay attention to the mission briefing, and I didn't.
You get the walker. I'll bring the truck around.
Okay, so it wants me to go steal a mech suit. Don't drink the water, or should I say Kool-Aid, right? There's an infection. Yeah, you know, looking at the history of the internet, right, when the whole thing started, we thought that there was going to be this great democratization of conversation and an ability to connect with people and really inspire and have great conversations. And unfortunately, what's happened is it's become a means to just be an asshole. You know, amplified by however much bandwidth you have. Whoa! That felt like a rocket launcher or some type of explosive. Where's the walker? The walker... The walker inside that thing? I'm very scared to get out of the truck. But the truck is being destroyed, so let's go ahead and take that action. Here we go, Superman! Neo! Okay, what are we gonna arm up? Go hammer? Thor! Why is everything popping off? Somebody's at my door. But I'm hoping. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I saw. Oh, shotgun. That's what's going on with that. Shooky now. Alright, it's arm pistol. Who's shooting that? Sorry, I'm going to try and get caught up with your guys' chat here. So, of course, to say most of them are quite narcissistic, and I use that word a lot, but it's true. Diana says this is why I'm finding new streamers to support. Corey says BRB. Yeah, well, and that's kind of a bit of what I mentioned, is it's very difficult to take streaming, which... Oh, did I kill somebody? Or is it just because I have yet to be successful? You know, streaming in and of itself, even more so than I guess social media, is kind of inherently narcissistic, and it's hard to build a rapport with a bunch of people who are kind of inherently focused on being individuals and building their own communities. Door open, get the damn walker. Come on. This is just a collision detection in the physics engine here. Here we go. Hey, Jacob, what's going on, man?
Got the work.
I'm completely overwhelmed by the chat. My phone is flipping the hell out. Jacob says, what is this single-player game, I'm guessing? Are you a superhero? No, I think you may have ducked in at the time. Oh, great. Like I said, trying to sort out. Just need to find the right people that like to be in a community. So Jacob, to answer your question, this is Red Faction Geurrilla. ASD, right, left to swing the arm, press. I think what's going on is maybe my kids are going outside. So this is Red Faction Geurrilla ReMARStered, which is a remaster of the second game in the Red Faction franchise. Man, this walker is just wrecking! This feels like the scene out of a movie. And I believe there's a lot of things here that I don't have time to be bothered with. I just need to get a path clear. And not spend a lot of time messing with this stuff. Yeah, no, I agree, Diana. But that's the hard thing, right? Is finding a community, because the services right now aren't really. There's no affinity in search for social factors, and it's actually I reached out to a guy when I was on staff at. This is highly chaotic. This is just. When I was on staff at Geeks Worldwide, a fan-based website, I interviewed a guy during one of our podcasts there who made, like, what does he want me to do? He wants me to put the walker right there? And then do I get out of it? Oh, it gets on the truck. He was at a startup that was making kind of like a geek dating site. But the thing about this site is the search engine technology behind it was kind of key to having a lot of different factors that you could filter for that were social factors, so that not only could you use it as a site for romantic liaisons, but you could also use it to, say, find, like, people who gamed on Xbox, right, for multiplayer, or people who did cosplay. And I was reaching out to him because I feel like there's a definite need, like I have a need as a consumer, as a participant. What, man? I'm shooting people. I think part of my problem was I've been treating this like the ammo is limited, but I don't think my ammo is limited. It doesn't look like it has a big recharge factor either. This is just a big destruction simulator. That's what this is. But like, if there were a service, search engine, I think I mentioned in the discussion group yesterday, kind of like a Tinder for streamers. But if there were a service that would do more, that would kind of crawl Twitch and Facebook and Twitter, and Mixer, and say, like, hey, I am looking for, I don't know, you know, college-educated gamers who like long walks on the beach and first-person shooters who live in the Northwest, right? That you could run that type of a search and find those people with common interests or common backgrounds or whatever, and set up an outreach that way.
Nice work, Mason. We got a fine piece of hardware now.
So Jacob says, I wanted to say thanks so much for the follow this morning. Yeah, no problem at all. I think if Jacob's talking to me, I don't know. Oh, not this morning. The other day is what I meant. Yeah, I think I did follow your page the other day. Or wherever you stream. It's hard for me to keep up because the group has been so active recently. That was actually pretty damn chaotic. I'm not even sure exactly what happened. I guess I stole a big mechanized thing and then made my escape. What the flock is going on? Should we continue? Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I'm trying to. No. Sorry, I'm trying to put my Volition Ring doorbell. Sorry, I'm trying to put the motion thing on my Volition Ring doorbell on pause. On snooze. Motion snooze. Okay, here we go. Sorry.
Your food is here, alert. Your food is here.
Just, I missed the notification and didn't button into it correctly. What is... Come on, guys. You know what? I'm just gonna kill you. I'm just gonna take your ride. Oh. I'm just gonna look what's on the back. James said, yeah, dude, it's awesome. Really digging next level streamers, man. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, and in the meantime, Diana, like you mentioned, Tinder for streamers, which is, again, exactly what I said the other day. I think groups like Next Level Streamers is kind of, unfortunately, kind of has to fulfill that gap, right? Like, it's a place where you can get to know people at a more ingrained level, so you can determine who you have similarities with. More so that you can determine, you know, because I mean, like going, like the act of actually porpoising into somebody's live stream to try and figure out like who they are and what kind of person they are, and if there's somebody that you want in your networking circle or to associate with, like that's a laborious time sink. I mean, right now you have to do it, and I get it, but man, like I wish there was a way to more efficiently do it. Oh no, I fixated on the blasted courier mission. I'm finding more and more that like the easier thing to do is just to get out on foot to navigate to these places for mission spots, because what the navigation doesn't tell you, it doesn't explain to you if like something's up on a bridge or you have to go up over a hill, which is just weird to me. Whoa. I think it took... No, it's got my... I was afraid of taking that away. What? Okay, guys, so...
Alert, your food is here, alert. Your food is here.
I don't know why, but it just, like, bounced me out of... Come on. It just bounced me out of chat. So Diana says, okay, so Jacob and Diana are conversing. I'm going to let them converse, because I'm probably not doing the best job of keeping up with the chat right now. So I'm just going to try and... Dude, combat rolled out of the way? RPG, first-person shooters. So yeah, so the problem is with the navigation wayfinding, like it didn't explain to me that it was trying to tell me that I need to get up here. And it's across a bridge. Can I destroy the bridge? No, don't fall down the flipping thing. But this is another thing that I enjoy is when other people come into the stream and get to know each other.
The miners of Dust are staging a rally at this site.
Like I said, it's kind of like cocktail hour.
But the EDF has other plans. Captain Halbert Gunnarsson is in command here. His unit killed 300 settlers in Crisis, so expect deadly force. Stop Gunnarsson and get those workers out alive. If we fight for them, they'll fight for us.
Alright guys, well, it has been a very pleasant afternoon. I was going to try and push it for one more mission, but I think I got to wrap up. Get out here and see what everybody is trying to get into. I cannot appreciate enough. Yeah, streams are like social lights. They are. They are becoming that, definitely. And like I said, way back in the day, I was part of like an online club or whatever, where there was a bunch of gamers and we were all people who played together, and it was a place you could go and you know, schedule multiplayer events, because, you know, we were just all the type of people who were always super busy and, you know, taking kids to events and dealing with stuff with the house and job stuff. So it was a place you could go and find other people to play multiplayer and schedule stuff, so you could, like, you know, arrange it in your schedule, you know, specific times you're going to be playing. And that group eventually kind of drifted apart after, you know, after the 7th generation of consoles. So when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came about, everybody just kind of scattered or was less attentive to playing as a group. So I've been looking for something to kind of replace that for a long time.
Almost there.
Streaming and being part of something like Next Level Streamers is kind of being that substitute, that surrogate. And yeah, it's highly social, particularly as we do what we're doing now, which is again, I really want to thank you guys. You know, a bunch of streamers showing up in a stream to have a conversation. That's I've not experienced that before. I'm having a hard time picking out enemies now. There's definitely some more down here. Here we go. Oh, pay attention.
Gunnarsson's using the PA system to lure miners to the site. You need to destroy those speakers, Mason.
Is the speaker? Now these hydrogen barrels are supposed to blow up, but for some reason, it seems like they have become resistant to exploding. I don't know why. I don't know if that's a game glitch. These should blow up fairly readily. Come on, get stuck in there. Now I'm making a very big deal. Big deal of taking down this building. I could have just climbed up to the damn roof here. It's a lot easier. Now where are the other towers? Sorry, I have to go now. Life calls. I'll see you guys around. Yeah, thanks so much, Diana, for popping in. I really do appreciate it. You were wonderful having you in the stream. Great conversation. I hope you have a good day, and I hope your kids don't drive you too crazy. stuck inside here. Where's that other PA speaker? Don't know if there's an easy way for me to get up there. I think I'm gonna have to take. This is one where I am gonna have to take the whole building down. Nope. It's stuck in the building when it comes down. Okay, 2 PA speakers destroyed. See a third one across the way. Just gonna scamper over there. Take care of some business. Actually, I think I see both of them. Again, this game begs for a slide maneuver. Oh! Alright, well, that's definitely gonna... Yeah, I can't afford to push it to replay this mission all over again. So, I do really appreciate everybody stopping by this afternoon. It's been huge. And I'm very glad that other people were able to just see this game, which I think a lot of people don't know about, kind of a sleeper. It came out over the summer that was a remake of a game that came out in 2009. Thank you everybody who slipped by the live stream. Thank you Diana. Thank you Corey. Thank you Jacob. Thank you Aaron. Thank you Tylen. And thank you for anybody else whose name I missed. I appreciate you immensely. If you are watching this on the YouTube channel in the archive version, I appreciate you as well. Please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Or if you're watching the archive version of this, or if you watch the live stream on Facebook, please please follow the page, I would say, or like the page, either or, but I guess I would say follow. I'm having a hard time tracking whether or not they're the same thing. I thought that they were different, but when I'm looking at the analytics, it looks like there's something that's, when people like the page, it still counts as a follow. I don't know, but, hit a button on the page. I would certainly appreciate it. So, schedule-wise, I will be back on tomorrow morning. Probably, I think, 8 o'clock or so, 8:30, maybe. When I go live, I typically log those in as events on the page. So if you go to the events tab, you should be able to see, at least for like the next 4 live streams or so, when I will be live. But I will be live tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and tomorrow evening. And then I'll go into a 48-hour downtime to pay some attention to like my OBS overlays and change up some of my equipment and kind of reset for whatever I'm going to be playing next. I'm pretty sure up next after 3 more sessions of playing Red Faction Geurrilla ReMARStered, I will be skipping over to the Xbox One and finally getting started in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, once again, thanks so much for joining in. My name has been Agaskally Stamos from PureWars.com and the E2K2 Network podcasting channel on YouTube, the Rounding Off Infinity gaming channel on YouTube, and the For Love of Game page on Facebook. Until next time, happy hunting, take care of yourselves, stay safe out there, play the games that you like, and stream the games that you love. I'm going to hit you up with the stream is ending scene and take you out with a bit of sultry tones. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning on the morning stream show.
With such love, I see you in the sunshine, shining up above. You feel so special now, with sand upon my feet as we walk around the town. I love to see you smile. I love to touch your sun. I love to feel a warm wave splashing upon me. I got you, you got me. This is where we want to be. Living it up in the sunshine. Fast cars, you take me for a ride. You make me feel so special, like new all the time. Watch the sun go down, stand up on my feet while we're playing around. I love it when you sing, I love the way you dance. You turn me around and make me feel so happy when we're dancing on the sand. This is all we got planned, living it up in the sunshine. Living it up in the sunshine. Living it up in the sunshine. We're living it up in the sunshine. We're living it up. We're living it up. Living it up in the sunshine. Living it up in the sunshine. I love it when you sing. I love the way you dance. You turn me around and make me feel so happy when we're dancing on the sand. This is all we got planned, living it up in the sunshine. Living it up in the sunshine. Living it up in the sunshine. We're living it up in the sunshine. We're living it up. We're living it up. Living it up in the sunshine. Living it up in the sunshine. Living it up. Living it up. Your colors, they fill me with such love. I see you in the sunshine, shining up above. You feel so special now. With sand up on my feet as we walk around the town. I love to see you smile. I love to touch your sun. I love to feel a warm wave splashing upon me. I got you, you got me. This is where we want to be. Living it up in the sunshine. Living it up in the sunshine. Fast cars, you take me for a ride.